John Tarks here with Midline and Minden. It's Friday morning, March 29th. I'm here with your Friday first look for the coming week. We've had quite a few events going on around here in the warehouse over the last couple of weeks. As many of you know and called and asked about, we had the opportunity to have our building flooded here with all the flood activity that happened on the 13th of March. And I'm kind of proud to say that we've been back in the building here for about a week, 10 days, and we're kind of looks like an operation normal around here for this time of year. But I do kind of want to take a moment this morning just to acknowledge some of the people. We did, it was probably around noon on the day of the 13th. I made a few phone calls to some of the old timers in the area to see if they'd ever seen Mosquito Creek out of its banks. And I got a lot of kind of perplexed kind of responses like, no, I've never seen that before. I wouldn't be terribly worried about it. But as I was kind of looking and evaluating things, I thought, there's a chance this could happen and it could negatively impact the seed that we have on hand for you guys, the things that we've ordered, the things that are going to make us most successful. So we kind of threw the bat signal out, the Mayday signal out to a lot of people, and just really overwhelmed with the response we had and the help that we got in a short amount of time. We started loading trucks out around 2 o'clock, and by 7 we were out of here. And if you check on our social media pages later today, we'll probably post some video of our surveillance cameras. But by about midnight, we had water in the building. It got to about a depth of about 3 foot. And one of the very first calls I made was up to Gary and Rick Larson up there in L34. And I just texted those guys and said, hey, if I need to get out of here, could I bring our stuff to your place? And it's no small feat to bring 13 loads of stuff on a drop of a hat to somebody's place. But those guys were more than accommodating. They sent a truck down to help us, took everything in their place for about a week. Just really indebted to Gary and Rick for opening the doors to us, and really their service really has saved all of our customers a real pain this year. But it doesn't just stop with that. I certainly want to acknowledge the people that brought their semis in. We were driving through probably 2 and 3 foot worth of water just to get in the building and to get our supplies out of here. I certainly want to say a big thank you to Bill Darrington and Dennis Linen. They came down with one of their trucks, and Bill spent a lot of the afternoon just personally hauling stuff in and out of here, just some of our feed equipment, some of that stuff, helping us evacuate. I want to say thanks to Joe and Charles Leaders. I know they're 4-star guys, but they're also neighbors, and I sure appreciate those guys getting on the horn and coming down and helping us. Customers like Dan Durick and Mark Olson, sure appreciate those guys getting down here just lickety-split to do stuff. A guy like Jim Schnorr, he's a customer of Josh Lambert's. I called and asked him if their trailer was available, and he didn't, but he knew that one of his neighbors would be able to come help. And Darren Goodman for helping line up some other trucks as well. I want to think of other customers like Nick and Kyle Hansen. They were very key in coming down and helping us get all this stuff out of here. And really to call guys at like 12:30, 1 o'clock and to have pretty much everybody on the scene by 2:30 and to be done by 7 was pretty miraculous. I mean, it was great service for us. I'm super appreciative. I can't say thank you enough. But really on behalf of our customers, I want to say a personal thank you to that group of men that really rallied in here and helped us in our time of need. On top of that, our employees, they were just rock stars that day too. I called them around noon and said, hey, we may need to get down here and get crazy about stuff. And Jason Denny and Clayton Davis and Travis Henningsen, they were down here just worked tirelessly all afternoon, hustled around like I haven't probably seen for a while, and just really appreciated all their efforts. They did a great job running the forklifts, coordinating stuff, keeping trucks in and out of the buildings, just doing little things like making sure everybody was helping us have water and pop. And what could have been a really, really negative event for us kind of turned into a community event that ended up being kind of fun for guys. And all I've said is since all that happens, our building now is just cleaner. We demoed a few drywall things in the building. We power washed out the building. We're probably just a little cleaner and a little bit more organized at this time of year. It did cost us a week's worth of prep, but I would like to say and just thank our employees. We've worked awful hard in that week after the flood to get things back in shape. And I'm happy to say that we're going to be at full operating capacity for the season, just like we normally would be. I already kind of mentioned our employees, and that's part of what I kind of want to touch base here primarily with you guys today, is to kind of put some faces with the names of the people that'll be serving you here this spring. And as we get things on the ground, you'll see their pictures kind of pull up as I'm talking to you about them. Most everybody at this point knows my wife, Carrie Tarks. She's primarily in charge of running our seed treater down here at the Underwood warehouse, and then she'll be the one that greets you down here all season long, loading up your beans, loading up your corn, taking care of you. She also has opened a Kent feed dealership here last August. If you have any feed needs of any kind, she'd be more than happy to help you with that, and that's located right in this building here in Underwood. New to our organization over the last couple of months will be a familiar name to Southwest Iowa, Travis Henningsen, be Kurt's son. Started here about 2 months ago. He's an Iowa State grad. His primary responsibility is with us will be running the Minden Seed Warehouse. For you Minden accounts, you guys will see him up there greeting you to fill your tenders this spring. He's also helping with field sales. That's one of his primary tasks, both on the seed and feed side of things. For their customers that are really getting involved with climate in an increasing amount, Travis is kind of our own in-house go-to guy on that. We're really excited with how we see climate becoming more important in the marketplace, to have our own in-house full-time guy, that's going to be one of his driving things he takes care of. A couple of things Travis will also be in charge of will be our scouting program. He'll be in charge of dispatching our scouts for the summer and following up and training those guys, as well as getting out in the field himself. Kind of a new exciting part of our scouting program for those of you that qualify this year is Travis is going to be coming out before harvest with our drone and those decal bakers that are part of our Service Plus platform. Travis is going to be flying those and providing that drone footage for you prior to harvest. He's also going to be in charge of running our weigh wagon this fall. Any side-by-sides, any of our Plots Plus that needs weighed, you'll see Travis out there helping you with that. Clayton Davis is somebody that came on board with us back full-time last June. You might remember him, guys, as somebody that was a scout for us in previous years. Clayton's primarily in charge of field sales. He'll be helping with scouting. He'll also be kind of, we call our in-season runner. You might see him in Underwood. You might see him in Minden. He may be bringing seed out of the country for you. He might come out and help us put a plot in the ground with you guys. So he'll be all over the place all spring, and that really fits right into his personality. He'll do a great job in that role for us. And lastly, he's been around for a couple of years. Many of you know Jason Denning. He also scouted for us before that. Jason also is in charge of field sales. You'll see him a lot this year. Went and purchased our own truck and van trailer. He's in charge of a lot of our seed transportation, and many of you will see him on farm this spring, bringing stuff out to the country to you. He is primarily in charge of our Plots Plus platform this year. For those of you that cooperate with us on the corn and soybean side, you'll see primarily Jason come out to help put those plots in, and he'll also be a part, probably a couple days a week, getting out and helping doing a little bit of scouting this year. So I feel really great about the team of 4 that we have with Kerry, Travis, Clayton, and Jason. Just great people. People we're very proud to have a part of our organization, and people I know are going to help you be very successful and enjoyable to work with. You know, kind of zeroing in on weather's beginning to change. People are getting a few toolbars out. You do see just a little bit of equipment beginning to shuffle in front of buildings. And though it is going to be a later start to spring, I still see guys kind of getting things geared up, getting ready to go as we're beginning to get seed out in the country. And I think something that, I'm sure many people are already thinking about this, but I want to encourage you to be thinking about is, obviously we expect the pipeline of nitrogen this spring to be tight, and there'll be moments that maybe our favorite supplier's out. I just kind of want to encourage you, there's going to be a time crunch this spring. We're going to be losing days to typically get all of our work done. Plus, we're kind of behind the 8 ball from a wet fall to begin with. Be thinking about the other projects. I would encourage you to be thinking about the other projects around your operation that maybe you can do on that day when you get notified that we're going to be the afternoon before we get a truck, or tomorrow before we get a truckload of anhydrous in. Be thinking of manure projects, tillage projects. I know I've commonly heard guys talking about, maybe we'll plant beans first this year. If you got that second planter, I would have a plan in place. Have treated beans on hand. I think that from an early bean standpoint is a must. And I would tell you, for many guys that are thinking about going with early beans, I think that really draws a big target around sudden death syndrome. That's something that is encouraged by early soybean planting. It's something that if you've got a farm history with it, you certainly want to be aware of and maybe not target those fields for early soybean planting. But a common tool that guys are going to use in that early soybean planting is a levo seed treatment. If sudden death is something that we can encourage by early cool planting, or something that we have a farm history on, that would be a product that I would encourage you guys to strongly, recommend or consider putting on your soybeans along with your Acceleron fungicide and insecticide seed treatment. I think those 2 treatments combined can give you all kinds of versatility to get going early with that seed this year, putting that soybean seed in the ground, when maybe we're waiting on some nitrogen in some places. So guys, with that, just be thinking seed delivery. We've been out 3 or 4 places this week. Next week will be our most active week to date, getting the semi out on the road and getting the 5th wheel out and getting seed into your place. Be making places in your shed, or kind of having an idea where things are going to go. We'll certainly be in touch with you to get those deliveries out and make sure that when the day comes, you're totally prepared to get going. Guys, have a great weekend. Look forward to it, guys. It's going to be a great spring. We're excited to work with you. Again, this is John Tarks, Friday morning, March 29th. I've been here with your Friday First Look. Thank you.